you know, this is sort of like, this is me sort of saying, hold on in there. If these videos bore you, which, you know, some of them probably do, parts of them probably do, I don't know. Yes? Yeah? Hold on. A very brief stop at the workshop today. So because I have the time for the titanium tweezers project on Kickstarter, I am doing even more sort of tweaking of the final finish and the sort of the feel of them and how they function. We're going to be using these things here. They're called plastic media. Putting some tweezers in there for a few minutes just to test something. I'm just trying to get that little bit more. I'm trying to squeeze that little bit more, that, you know, just get it better and better. That sort of it's extremism. It's just obsession, and I know I'm flawed. Deal with it. I deal with it. Right, let's do this. So the day before yesterday, we were trying to get the jet engine going, the miniature jet engine. This one right here. Now we pretty much figured out how to wire it up, I think. The only thing we were missing, from what I can tell, is that this receiver here, it's a bit wired in. This is a little receiver which gets the signal from, you know, the controller to, you know, to tell the thing to start up and rev up and whatnot. We didn't have any power going to it, so there's no instructions with it or anything. I just looked at a YouTube video and saw a guy had like 4 AA batteries going into the receiver. So I think that's one area where I'm going wrong. So today is Labour Day in New Zealand, Labour weekend, which means nothing's open. Can't do anything with this today, unfortunately, so I'll have to leave it for another day. Got another thing I want to show you in this bag. It's actually a product, not just a prototype. These are actual proper finished things. I sold a few of them, well, a few dozen at least, I can't remember. Actually, probably more than that. About a year or two ago, I had them made and they were successful, they work. I mean, I actually used them myself. Can you guess what they are? Or what this one is? This is in fact a valve cap, titanium valve cap. So you know, you put on your car, your bike, your motorbike, whatever. You know, instead of those crappy little black plastic things, you have these fancy titanium ones. Different designs as well. That one was the grenade. This one here, the boxer. This one here, the revolver. This one here, the trident. I'm thinking I should make them again. I mean, they're made, they're here, they're finished. I just need to redo the finish a little bit on them. They're good to go though. I'm really not sure why I don't just put them on the website. Okay, housekeeping. Well, not really housekeeping. More, this is my plan type thing. I've been doing these videos on YouTube every day for, this will be 185 days without a break, uploading to YouTube every day. The stuff I give you is, it's not quite what I want to give you. Like, I am giving you maybe 30% of what I want to give to you. Not in terms of like what I reveal or what I, you know, the information I share or anything like that. I'm talking the content in terms of the projects and things like that. You know, I mentioned the jet engine earlier. You know, it's a slow going jet powered skateboard project. You know, I want to be doing more of that stuff every day. I want to be doing cool stuff. Like, it's getting a bit bright actually. I've got projects that I want to do, just like crazy ones that I just want to do them for the sake of doing them, to say, hey look, nobody else does these things. The world's strongest iPhone case, titanium iPhone case, just like bulletproof, literally bulletproof, or bomb-proof or whatever. The world's strongest GoPro case, just those kind of things. Like, one thing I know I need for a start is, you know, some sort of milling machine, sort of semi-manual or CNC, something like that, because none of these things can be done without that, full stop. So I do need at least to do that. It can be done, it will be done. I just need to keep going, focus, hoping that you will stick with me until we start reaching those points and those more exciting things. But for now, you know, I'm showing you old prototypes and, you know, going to the beach and all those kind of stuff, which, you know, I like to share with you, but I'd like to share less of that and more awesome stuff. So watch this space, that's what I'm saying. Just stick with me and watch this space. That there is instructions from my son for which sushi he wants. I'm doing the lunch run, my son's cleaning some equipment, soap and water, my dad's cleaning some tweezers. I'm the go for today. Okay, so you wait right here. What I am showing you right now is what is the best prototype I have ever done. I made this around 2.5 to 3 years ago. Yeah, 2.5, 3 years ago. Before I had a water jet cutter, before I had any tools, I had nothing. I had a bench grinder where I could sort of grind down the edge of titanium, that was it. I wanted to make a belt buckle and, you know, I had no access to CNC machining or anything like that. But I managed to make it. You know, it's crude, I'll grant that, but it is unbelievably functional. I mean, I actually wore this belt buckle for at least 6 months. Truthfully, it's a little bit big. It's bigger than I wanted it to be, but I had to use, you know, what I had available to me at the time, which is big screws and things like that. But I'll show it to you. I'm gonna go and get my fancy macro lens. Right. Whoa, that's a bit. You don't need to see me anyway, you just want to see this. So these are layers. Matte, polished, yeah, etc, etc, etc. Now looking at the top, these are just sort of ugly screws I used from another project. This screw here holds the whole lot together, and so does this screw. So this screw goes all the way down through here. As you can see, there's just a sort of sliver of a hole in there. This screw here, just for holding this part of the belt on, hold the buckle onto the belt. For the smart amongst you, you can probably guess exactly what this is for. If we picture putting the belt on, the belt would go in like this, in all the way through, and there we go. And that just holds itself. So, and to adjust it, if you eat too much turkey or whatever, you can loosen it out. It looks a bit clunky the way I'm showing you here, but when it's down on your waist, it's a lot easier. It's just, you don't even have to think about it when you do it. And that's it really. So I'll give you a bit of a close-up again. So that goes in like that. Just to run through it again, this is looking at the belt from the inside. Belt goes in there, set it to what you want, and then that's it. Like, it's... So that's basically like my best prototype ever. It worked so well. It's just a bit big. Now, I didn't invent this mechanism. It's probably common, I don't know. I've only ever seen it once, and that's from my grandfather, who was fantastically mechanically minded, engineering oriented. He made sort of smaller brass versions of these for various members of the family like 20 years ago. He did them all by hand, like he bent and filed out. Like, I water jet cut this hole. My grandfather, out of brass, he cut it out by hand using saws and files and things. So, you know, it's kind of like a repeat of the older generation, but you know, I've got technology on my side, luckily. And titanium as well, not just brass. Yeah, that's like my most favorite prototype ever, I think. Thinking about what I said earlier about that obsession of, you know, just trying to get that finish better on the tweezers or whatever it is I'm doing, like just obsessed, like I'm trying to take it to the extreme, and I don't know if it's good or bad, I'm not sure. But I've got a quote for you today that perhaps somewhat explains it. And this quote is from David Ogilvy. He said, "The pursuit of excellence is less profitable than the pursuit of bigness, but it can be more satisfying.